Yeah, very dramatic turn of events, Linda. Resignations are rolling in from the president's senior staff. You have workers from South Korea's largest union protesting in downtown Seoul. Security is tight around the parliament building after protests broke out over the president's declaration of martial law, declaration that hours later he reversed due to South Korean law. Here is what went down. Late on Tuesday night, about 10:30 p.m. local time, that was when the South Korean president, Yoon Suk Yeol, declared martial law in this surprise address. He accused the main opposition party of anti-state activities and sympathizing with North Korea, and the backlash was fast and furious. His move sparked demonstrations. Thousands of people turned out to protest outside the National Assembly, and lawmakers voted to block the martial law decree. And in the early hours of this day on Wednesday, the president backtracked. He withdrew the order along with the troops deployed to carry it out. Now, resignations have been submitted by the president's chief of staff and as well as more than 10 senior secretaries and lawmakers. They are calling for more. In a statement to reporters on Wednesday, we heard from the leader of the ruling party, the People's Power Party, who apologized to the public and called for the defense minister to be fired. Let's bring up the statement for you. This is what we heard from Han Dong-hoon saying this, quote, "The president must directly and thoroughly explain this tragic situation. The Minister of Defense, who recommended this martial law, should be immediately dismissed, and all those responsible must be held strictly accountable," unquote. The main opposition party is calling for the president, President Yoon, to step down or face impeachment. We heard from a senior Democratic Party member of parliament who said this. Let's bring up the statement. Quote, "Even if martial law is lifted, he cannot avoid treason charges. It was clearly revealed to the entire nation that President Yoon could no longer run the country normally. He should step down." Now, workers from South Korea's largest union, they have been protesting in downtown Seoul, and they say that they will continue to do so until the president steps down. Look, this is South Korea's biggest political crisis in decades. This was a move by the president that stunned allies, it stunned observers around the world. It plunged the South Korean won against the U.S. dollar. President Yoon may have lifted martial law, but questions are swirling about him, about his political fate, about what will happen next in South Korea, one of the world's most important economies. Back to you, Linda.
And Kristie, not only do people in South Korea, not only did they feel like they were completely caught off guard, so did South Korea's closest ally, the U.S., who was unaware of the situation. How is the U.S. and other allies viewing this?
Yeah, absolutely. South Korea's allies, including the United States, completely taken off guard. We heard from a senior U.S. official, a Biden administration official, saying that they were not notified in advance of President Yoon's plan to declare martial law. The United States has said that they have expressed grave concern over the situation in South Korea, but we also heard from the Deputy Secretary of State, Kurt Campbell, saying that the alliance, the relationship between the U.S. and South Korea remains, quote, ironclad. Linda.
All right, Kristie Lu Stout for us in Hong Kong. Good to have you with us. Thank you.
Thank you.